Hi, Misha here, and as promised, we're about to start test firing this gun. For those who didn't see the first video, kind of the preview, this is the new WBP JAK SR 545, made in Rogo, Poland, and imported by the brand new WBP USA. And this is the AK74 100 series version. We talked about that with the 90-degree gas block and 24mm threads and the 74 style muzzle brake. And this is the version with the Polish laminate wood furniture. As you just saw, it's empty right now. And of course, yes, chambered for 545 by 39. And we're going to begin by trying it out with the provided Magpul PMag it comes with. I think this is the current generation 545 PMag for 545, if I'm correct. And we'll start off by trying some older Monarch branded ammo that I still kind of kept in reserve for a number of years. You know, start off with a known quantity. Why not? So with that, let's see how she runs. First rattle out of the box. First shots, it's Monarch ammo out of the 545 JAK. Alright, no surprise, no issues. The Monarch ammo is fine. I've used it in actually the most recent 545 videos that we've done on here. And tried it in things like the Romanian SAR2, Arsenals, even Vepers and Segas. It runs fine, so kind of wanted to start there. Nice gentle recoil. Didn't seem to be overgassed compared to others. Of course, that's a little unfair because this brake is highly effective. Even though this is a US-made part, it's made the original styling and specs enough that it has the same kind of advantageous nature. Nice throw. Nice trigger. Sorry, the cheap sling got wrapped up there. These are still the original trigger components. The reason that some importers prefer the original fire control group versus US one, some of the problems we've seen with imports in the past have been directly related to the trigger group. Some of the Tapcos and other things have given issues over the years, so there you go. But it's all good. And this setup here, sorry it's indoors, it's really cold and it's dark outside now. Wintertime, what can you do? A little bit ad hoc. I do my best. And if you could, like the video, and if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. Kind of do a little bit of everything around here, so probably something you enjoy. And definitely share with friends. And if you really like to help out, especially with this holiday season, check out the link to Patreon. I've been trying to get more active over there and doing Q&As again, and probably start doing polls and what have you. But with that, I also found an old box of Wolf ammo and brought out some Polish Tantal 545 mags, because when we did the mag fitment test in the first video, I didn't bring these out. I tried the steel Tantal, but let's see how the polymer Tantals fit and function with Wolf. Cycle fine. And again, no surprises there. Nice recoiler, nice runner. What else can you really say? Mags fit fine. Gun is good so far. But, as we kind of teased in the preview video, what about that relatively new to the market Tela ammo made in Azerbaijan, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Not only do we want to see how that works in this gun, there's also been claims that it's maybe a little overpowered, little hot, and there's also been claims that it might be corrosive. So we are going to do a corrosive test with this gun and see how it goes. This seems like a good candidate. And not that I want to abuse this gun, but the truth is, compared to what Vepers, Segas, even things like the Romanian SAR-2s are going for now, if a gun's going to risk getting a little bit of corrosion, I'd rather it be a current import like this. Plus, since it does have a nitride barrel, it should show quicker than on a chrome line. By the way, I do want to mention this. This has come out more than once. People have questioned why this has a nitride barrel. And then they point out, well, some of the other WBPs have chrome line cold hammer forged. Those barrels are from FB Radom. Yeah, WBP and FB Radom have worked together for several years in both directions. Those have supplied parts to each other. Well, when it comes to 7.62x39, they can sometimes get the FB Radom barrels. There are jacks that come in with either the WBP nitride barrel or the FB cold hammer forged chrome line barrel. But FB Radom is not making the 545 barrel at all, and for 556, while they do of course have the barrel, that's a different contour barrel, so they're not doing an AKM style barrel for it. The only option WBP has is to make their own. And thanks to current EU law, while FB Radom is still allowed to do chrome plating because they're a government military contractor and kind of legacy factory, WBP, even though, yes, in more modern times they've had police and even some export military contracts, they're not allowed to do the chroming under EU law. So right now they're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. FB Radom isn't making 545 barrels, and Poland, under the EU, is not allowed to let them chrome line their own 545 barrels. Now, they might find a workaround or something, or even convince FB to do it, but for now, that's why. And my point is, if the Tele ammo is going to get funky with anything, we should see it pretty quick in this one here. All right, enough rambling. Let's see how it does. Now, let's try it with that Tele ammo, see if it's any warmer than that Monarch. Maybe a little bit. Let's try it rapid. It definitely doesn't smell as nice. Alrighty, no problems there. It smells a little different. And if this is hotter, it's not by much, guys. It really isn't. But, you know, again, that brake works really well. Here's that Tele ammo. It's good looking ammo. Everything we loaded was nice and clean, so it wasn't all rusty as ammo. But of course, the deal with corrosive usually has to do with the primers themselves. So we'll just have to see. And as I shared in my influential AKs video, I've been fooled before by ammo that was supposed to be non-corrosive. I would suggest at this time, better safe than sorry. If you're going to use this, I would clean it as if I'm cleaning corrosive. Except, not going to do that with this gun, because we're kind of testing it, because we need to know. But I'm going to keep a close eye on it. Well, metaphorically speaking. So yeah, we've tried 3 types of ammo so far. And all's well that ends well. But let's hand it off to someone who's actually never fired probably never even handled a Kalashnikov before. That was Guillaume, known to my family as G because names are hard. He was once, many a moon ago, several years ago, was it 10 years now? Maybe, close to it. A foreign exchange student my family took in from France. And he still comes to visit. Thanksgiving, Christmas. In fact, even his folks have come to visit. So he likes shooting guns when he comes here because he doesn't get to do it much in France. I wonder why. And there will actually be a full video about him, and we kind of took him out and let him shoot all kinds of different guns, shotguns, revolvers, carbines. So stay tuned for that. Getting a foreigner's take on American gun culture should be quite entertaining. But he did shoot this because he'd been out the day before, Thanksgiving Day as it happened, and was really interested in AKs and had a lot of questions. So it only seemed fair to let him run a few rounds through this gun. And it did well for him. So that's a good thing to say for the gun, the ammo, whatever. That even someone who's never really operated one before can get. Go ahead and shoot it.
What?
Go ahead and shoot it.
I'm out.
So let's see what Guillaume, what G thought about it, his experience, you know, off the cuff, out there at the range. What'd you think?
Lovely. Thank you.
Any thoughts? Anything? Comments?
It's just really, really nice to shoot with. But it's hard to control whenever you pull the trigger several times in a row to keep your aim. But it's just a nice shot. I loved it.
Have you ever shot a FAMAS?
No, never.
Okay.
It's actually my first AK and never shot a FAMAS.
Well, he seemed to enjoy his time. That's good. He actually had to fly home the next day, so we squeezed her in. So far, so good. No problems there. One thing we did talk about in the first video was, does this does have a bayonet lug and bayonet fitment? And I found that this bayonet, the Bulgarian style, current modern type, was the best one to fit. Even it's tight, as you see here, but it does go on, and it's good to have a nice tight fit. And there was speculation that these components they install are Bulgarian, but I really do think it's because of this U.S. muzzle brake. I think the issue is more there than the sight base, the lug itself. So what else? Well, a friend did want to see just how this would rapid fire. At this point, we have put over 100 rounds through it, probably 120 to 150. I think it's time we crack her open and see how the internals are looking. And to respect YouTube's community guidelines, I can't strip her down on camera for you. So let's pop the top and peek inside. Of course, step one, remove magazine, and always verify unloaded before disassembly. The top cover came off, and the recoil spring came out, no problem. That's actually more important than you would think, because if a gun is beating itself to death, if the bolt group is bashing the rear trunnion a lot, it can disform parts back here and make either part more difficult to remove than it needs to be. And we look here at the bolt and carrier tail. So far, so good. So obviously clean this is not, because we just ran a bunch of stuff through it. There's the piston head. The piston is a US component. The carrier is foreign. Let's see if there's any kind of weird stuff going on in the channel. I don't expect there would be, but never know. Just dirty. Again, this is a semi-automatic only. And there's our carrier tail. And that looks good to me, says the blind guy. Now the carrier tail looks perfect. That's one reason for using the original fire control group. It just interfaces best with that. As for the bolt itself, that spring-loaded firing pin looked well. The spring is still nice and smooth, not too stiff, not too loose. Didn't gum up, and the actual head of the area here isn't all dinged up or anything bad. Keep in mind, we're just a little over 100 rounds, 150 maximum, so early days. And this is standard finish for a WBP. And the piston does have the nice amount of wiggle to it. I personally don't like it when AK pistons are just rock steady. They need to have flexibility, not obviously crazy amounts, but being loose is just part of the design. And again, the bolt looks fine too. Extractor. Do you see anything? Peanut has now joined the chat. Sorry, my hands are dirty, Peanut. She was sleeping earlier. You want me to feed you, don't you? Well, we're almost done. We are almost done, Miss Peanut. Let's put the mag in just to give kind of context. Hammer and all that. Not that I expect there to be any issues, but that's fine. The feed ramp and front trunnion and chamber face seem fine. No obvious signs of it being made of buttery goodness there. Obviously, function was perfect, so I'm not too worried about that stuff. Again, the rear trunnion is fine. And flipping it around, just to let you guys in there. This trunnion is forged. It's not cast. The rear trunnion could be either one. To be fair, Russia switched over to cast rear trunnions itself in the 70s. Most other nations followed, so I don't... Let me see if I can easily tell if it's a forged or cast part, but either way, it shouldn't matter. I don't see any obvious signs of casting, but again, you guys see more than I do, so let me know if you see anything that kind of jumps out at you. And the lockup is, frankly, buttery smooth. I know some have complaints about them using a polished steel carrier. This is treated steel, it's not just raw. But one of the benefits, in addition to just being easy to clean, it does make travel almost as smooth on some of these as a milled gun. Almost. And fully back together with no issues. Up close of the other side and the markings, including the Polish eagle up here. Well, there you have it. How it's looking in the first initial break-in. We'll, of course, keep going with this. I still want to have a chance to let Fox give his take on it. Why not? Something that was brought up in the first video, too, was, you know, the sight adjustment tool, which I don't have with me, and the sling are among the cheapest out there. Yes, they are. But again, at least it does come with them. That's more than most. On the other hand, they didn't cheap out on the mag. This Magpul mag is about as good as the US mag's going to get, and it ran fine for us. So if they're going to cut a corner, doing it with the essentially free accessories is fine. And the finish is nice. It's a kind of a paint type. Standard adjustable iron sights, and we do have the side rail, which we haven't tried out yet. Maybe when Fox comes out, we'll have him bring an optic for her. The furniture is held up well. The buttstock isn't loose and wiggly. The gas tube and upper handguard haven't got loose and wiggly. And the lower is still nice and tight. I do notice a bit of kind of, you can feel the grain more here, because it really did get hot even though it's been cold outside. This thing, and that's 545 for you. This is a cartridge that heats up a barrel really fast. Of course, it cools off really fast. But yeah, this got some real heat behind it. And the whole thing did. The muzzle of the brake just has the tiniest side-to-side play. Very little up and down. Eventually no front to back. So it fits the threads well even after being shot. Cleaning rod, of course, isn't walking out on us. Nothing crazy like that. I will say, one of my concerns about this flap on the safety getting you, it wasn't the worst, but it is a very stiff.
For me, even though I've had a small hand.
It is a big flapper, though. I'm going to be honest, I think I kind of like the standard safety style more myself. Me, myself, and I. But I do like the enlarged paddle mag release. That was borrowed from the Baril, and I think it works really well. By the way, for those who don't know, this does act as a dust cover. That's part of the AK design, and it's meant to be charged back just far enough where you can check your chamber, but not chamber or unchamber around. There's a lot more Thoughtmall elements in an AK than it gets credit for. The top cover has not got wiggly. In fact, it's tighter than that Arsenal we recently looked at. Gas tube isn't loose. And you saw the insides, so that's how it's held up so far. And if you did like the video, as I said at the beginning, as you know, because you're on YouTube and we all say it, please do hit like. That needs to happen. It costs you nothing, and with the algorithm, it needs doing. Sharing, subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do, because that's really the only way to know about new videos. And again, if you'd like to help us out for Patreon to get more new guns and, you know, keep getting ammo, every dime on Patreon goes back into funding the channel. Rumors about me being spotted in the Bahamas on a vacation are not true. That I couldn't have a beard that long, or jet ski. Although I have been, I have jumped out of a plane before. I've been parachuting. Story for another day, though. But yeah, have you bought some of the Tele ammo? Have you bought one of the new jacks? Have you even tried these new Magpul 545 mags? Well, new, relatively speaking. Let us know in the comments. And we'll keep on with this. Are you ready to eat? Are you ready? You sure? Okay, let's eat. This is Misha. Catch you very soon. Next time. Alright, let's try it with some wolf ammo I found. Perhaps if I do charge it.